Mike Purzycki because he didn't know anything about Mike Purzycki. Let's talk about Jack Booker. Jack Booker sat right here and says, well, I'm here to support Mike Purzycki because I think he's qualified to do the job. And he says he's going to do what he's going to do. Well, wait a minute, folks, wait a minute. He has not done it yet. If he was going to do something outside of the riverfront, over these 20 years, all of a sudden he's so concerned about the communities, North Wilmington, South Bridge, East Side, Southwest. If he was so concerned over the 20 years that he's been down on the riverfront, he would have been speaking out on some of these social issues way before now. We haven't heard from him. And he loves to take credit. He, meaning Mike Purzycki now. I'm going to stay with Mike Purzycki for a minute because I want to talk about Kevin and I want to talk about Norman real quick. But Mike Purzycki loves to take credit for things that don't really, that nobody's going to really question him on. Well, I wrote a letter to the editor a few days ago, and normally they'll call you back and see if you're the one that wrote it, and they'll go ahead and put it in the op-ed. This is what I wrote. Y'all remember what Chris Coons, and we made up now. Y'all remember Senator Coons when I said, shame on you, Chris? Well, check this out. Shame on you, Mike Purzycki. Shame on you for taking credit during recent candidate debates and in campaign literature for bringing thousands of jobs to Wilmington Riverfront. The companies that have settled in the Riverfront District, some drawn by the city taxes and subsidies incentives, are the ones that created the job, not you. Shame on you, Mike Purzycki, for falsely attaching yourself to what worked at the riverfront versus what hasn't. The failed shipyard shops and the broken promises that shoppers would flock to the outlet from around the state and region happened during your watch. The failed exposition hall that did not materialize as promised produced shows that would make the riverfront a destination spot along the East Coast happened on your watch. Facts are facts. Shame on you, Mike. Shame on you for being loose with the facts. Now that's facts. I want everybody who has a car, who has not gone down the riverfront, before you vote, I want you to go down the riverfront and look at all them shops that are empty down there. All of them. Now, I told you before that if you gave me $300, $400 million, I could make all kinds of mistakes and you wouldn't even know it down there. But it bothers me that this person, Mike Purzycki, could come before you and come in our communities and be pimped by those who says, I'll help you, but you got to give me something. Now, I ain't one to gossip. Oh, I ain't one to gossip. But I want to tell you something. It's been told to me, and I don't know how true it is, but I'm going to repeat it. It's been told to me that his hired gun, Mike Purzycki's hired gun, and listen, I love him. He's a good brother, but he don't live in Wilmington. He lives in Middletown. I'm talking about Norman Oliver, his hired gun. Show that picture one more time. I want to show somebody. Show that clip one more time. If you look at the tall young man standing back there with the white shirt and the tie on, he is a lawyer. He introduced Mike Purzycki. All these, by the way, are Norman Oliver's friends, his boys. And so I'll do what Norman tells me to do, because he's my man. Now, I had conversations with some of them, and a couple of them say, you know how Norman is. Norman's all about the dollar. Oh, I didn't say that. Hush your mouth, Mike Brown. They say they told me, Norman, you know how Norman is. And even Norman said to me, man, I don't care. It's all about the dollar to me. Wilmington is too important to have somebody saying that don't even live in the city, that goes to where they go when dark comes, that it's all about the dollars. Take, for example, put two and two together. You got some, Mr. Purzycki's been coming on television here on 28 for the last 3 Sundays. And he's been, He had Bob Cannon, and he had Xanthony Oliver, love her to death, and he had Hanifa Shabazz. I don't know how that hookup got to be such, and I can't put my finger on it, but we need to start thinking about who's pimping who. Who is pimping who? Now, in the News Journal, y'all hear me now, on August the 18th, on a Thursday, campaign money continues to pour in. Mike Purzycki raised $176,000 per the News Journal, spent it all, and loaned himself a few $1,000s more, which came up to $193,000. Well, we got state races, and all of them combined has not raised as much money for lieutenant governor as Mike Purzycki has spent 2.5 weeks left in a mayoral race, in a primary, $193,000 in a primary for mayor. Now, I know all of y'all are smart. I know all of y'all you're very intelligent voters. You got to ask yourself, why is it so important that Mike Purzycki, after raising and spending all this money and 2.5 weeks left before the primary, why is it so important for him to be mayor of our city? When in fact, as I said earlier, he did not concern himself with anything happening in our communities other than the riverfront until he decided to pimp us, or attempt to pimp us, or some of us anyway, to run for mayor. Pay to play. Who's pimping who? Now, show the other one with the one that Mayor Williams had given out with he and Purzycki, Kevin Kelly on it. Show that small one. And Purzycki said in here tonight, that one. He doesn't like when people call him a Republican. I'm not going to call you a Republican. It is what it is. This man has the same, in my opinion now, Mike Brown's opinion. I ain't one to gossip, and you ain't get it from me. But this man has the same mentality that a Donald Trump has. Oh, I got to say that again. Mike Purzycki has the same mentality as a Donald Trump would have. What are you talking about, Mike Brown? Well, conquer and divide. Conquer and divide. He's a businessman, just like Donald, and all he thinks about is getting ahead and being number one. I wish that we could ask Mike Purzycki what happened, where he been, other than the riverfront, other than what he's done, what he says he's done at the center. What has he done really for people around this city? And I can guarantee you, he can talk a good talk, but he can't back it up because he hasn't done that much. Outside of the riverfront, nobody really knows him. I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to the first forum. It was called a debate, but it was actually a forum. And Mike Purzycki looked down and saw Kevin Kelly, Bob Marshall, Norm Griffith, Theo Gregory, and said, look at them. We need new changes in here, in the city. All between the four of them, 120-some years of government. That's experience he was talking about. That's experience. He didn't talk about his 8 years on county council when he got off. Before he got off, he was in a tit for tat with Karen Peterson, who now was a state senator. He was in tit for tat for he did not want to vote on the pay increase for workers. So I'm just telling you, Mike Purzycki has got an agenda that he's not telling everybody. he's not being truthful and he's not being faithful. I was going to tell you about the gentleman in the white shirt and the tie. He's a lawyer. His name is Tice, Leroy Tice. Go back to that because I need to tell this. Leroy Tice was the gentleman with the tie and the shirt on, and of course you saw Holly came on and he came on, and I like Holly. Matter of fact, I like all of them that was up there. And Holly said, well, he was the only one that gave me a job. I had to go to Jersey. I had to look. The night of Mike Purzycki's announcement. Now I'm not throwing nobody under the bus. I'll say it again. I'll say it in their face. I don't care about them. The night I went to that announcement, everybody was startled that I was in the room. Well, it said open to the public, and I'm public, so I went and walked around. I saw Holly out in the parking lot, and I said, man, you ought to come on, let Theo and I talk to you about some things. Can't do that, man. I'm with Norm. Norm is with Purzycki, man. And you know how Norm is. It's all about the dollars. Whoa, dude. It's more than about the dollars in Wilmington. It's about saving lives. It's about moving this city forward. It's about doing what is necessary to do for this city to thrive. So it's all not about dollars all the time. Sometimes you just got to give up that life or that concept and think about what's best for the city of Wilmington. I know y'all trying to say I'm battling, but no, I'm not rallying. I'm not rallying. If you're paying attention to what I said, the topic tonight, if I gotta have one, for those that's just tuning in, pay to play. Who's pimping who?